Welcome to the Friday 5 show for Friday, April 24th, 2015. This is episode 002. And with us, as usual, is Bart. Say hello.
Hello.
And Justin, way down there in Alabama. Say hello, Justin.
Yep, Justin's down.
There he is. We were just talking about his internet connection, and there he is, frozen in space. So either he's really intrigued by what we have to say, or he's completely locked out. We'll wait a second for Justin to jump back on. All right, Justin's back. We were just talking about Justin's internet and his trials and tribulations. So what do you got down there? You got satellite, or you're working off your phone? What do you got, squirrels going on down there?
Well, so we are just outside the cable range. So the way that it works here is I tether to my phone, but originally we didn't have phone service at all out here. So I had to buy like this. It's like a $1,200 booster system. And you've got an external antenna that's directional, and then you have an internal omnidirectional antenna that goes in your house. And so it takes a signal from outside and amplifies it and rebroadcasts it inside. So I can get like 3 or 4 bars of 4G if I'm in the right part of the house. So I tether to that sometimes, and I get between probably 6 and 10 megs down on a speed test, which isn't terrible. I mean, it's enough to do these meetings and whatnot. And then as an alternative, we have Expedited, which is really Wild Blue, used to be the primary satellite internet provider. They launched this new service called Expedited, uses a little bit different satellites. And so with it, we get between 12 and 15 megs down on a speed test. So it's not terrible. And they've upped the latency, or I guess lowered the latency time on it. So you get fairly real time.
You can't just run a whole cable to your neighbor's house or something?
If I had neighbors.
Neighbors.
I mean, what am I going to plug it into? The fucking creek? I mean,
where's the next town over? I mean, couldn't you run a line?
So we looked into it. They have it out at the highway from here, but that's probably like 2 miles. And so it's not probably 2 miles, probably a mile. But we had a quote before to run it out here. It'd be like 15 or 20 grand to get it ran out here. So since we're not renting, since we're only renting, it was like, doesn't make sense.
Justin, you're in color today. What's up with that?
Yeah, that's what happens when I'm on a satellite.
Whew, fancy.
They fortunately have color in space, even though we don't have it in Alabama. So.
All right, so we'll get started. Don't move your antenna. Don't move from that part of the house. We'll start the show. All right, so first on the list is the Apple Watch, Justin's favorite thing in the world. Apple is expediting orders to developers. And they're going to ship it out by the 28th. Apparently, although it's a quite random kind of thing, and they're just kind of, I guess, picking them out of the hat because it's large developers and small developers as well are getting the watch.
Sorry, weren't pre-orders supposed to start shipping on the 24th anyway?
No, you could order it by the 24th, but depending on what time you ordered it, your date could slide into June, July, August. What they're doing is they're moving a set of watches for developers up in the queue and sending it to them first because obviously they need to do development.
So what you're saying is my SUMO Apple Watch should get here in the next couple of days?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you won't be there anymore, right?
Well, you could just expedite it and get it here in time.
Right.
I think it's smart. I mean, they needed to do that, right? Because the biggest drawback, the biggest selling point for the Apple Watch is the apps that are going to be on it. Because that's where Android Wear is falling behind a little bit or ahead, depending on how you're looking at it. And Pebble is really kind of incapable because of the simple app. So, I guess it makes natural sense to get it in the hands of developers and get that app store built up.
Yeah. I think you can only do so much just based on screenshots and things like that. A lot of the gestures are with your wrist and things like that. It's I think they need some real world kind of scenarios to kind of say, oh, you know what, maybe some of these UI things don't make sense.
Right. I mean, so a lot of people, you know, if you look at apps are updating like crazy for the Apple Watch, but I wonder what extra things people will start building for them.
Well, I think bigger than that is that they're shipping it to their most critical audience first, which could be a real drawback because the developers are going to be the one that's going to criticize the watch most heavily, and you're shipping it to them first. So all their reviews are going to be all over the web. So if you were,
I disagree. I think they're sending it to the biggest fanboys that are out there. They're the guys that are making money from Apple. So I think they're going to be, you know, a little hesitant to criticize right off the bat.
fair enough, I guess.
There'll be plenty.
Yeah,
There'll be plenty of criticism once this thing starts shipping. But I read that Beyonce got a special Apple Watch. A secret. There's no Apple Watch with a gold link wristband, and she got a special one.
Ooh.
Is it?
So how much was that?
Justin?
Like 250,000.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I mean, she wore it to Coachella with her big Indian headdress. But Justin, do you think it's because? Now, Justin, this is something that you know about. Is it because that Beyonce is part of the Illuminati?
I
mean,
no, I think when you have money, you can do anything you want.
Well, right. It's, you know, more of the rich people get stuff that the normals can't get. So I think we should just ride it.
Exactly. Yeah. Judging by their top tier watch costing 10 to 15,000, I'd be curious how much that gold link cost her.
Absolutely. Karl Lagerfeld got one as well. I know, Justin, you're really big into the high fashion.
High fashion there, buddy.
Yeah, you know, I'm just actually waiting on my custom Apple Watch to arrive. I put in my order around the same time as Beyonce for the gold link. So.
Gonna be all red.
You're in line behind
Yeah.
Jason.
Nice. Moving on.
All right, moving on. The big story of the week, the Google Mobilegeddon that rolled out on Tuesday.
So Justin never heard of this, which is kind of hilarious, by the way, from a guy who does.
Yeah, I don't know how this slipped under my radar. Seriously.
It's the change in algorithm for mobile devices, for mobile web, basically. So if you do a search on a mobile and it's not mobile ready, you get ranked lower on the mobile side, on their mobile searches.
I mean, that makes sense. I'm surprised that hadn't been done before now.
Yeah, but they're basically they warn people about it, so everybody's freaking out about it. It's going to take weeks before that whole algorithm hits, but it's only for mobile. So if you're doing the searches on your website on your desktop, it doesn't matter. Like, they're not going to de-rank those. They're only de-ranking the mobile side of it. Which makes
fair enough. The only people that should be worried are the people that are behind the times anyway. I mean, who shouldn't have a responsive site by this day and age?
Yeah, well, there was a study that 52% of the Fortune 500, their sites are not mobile ready. So you're talking about big companies that just are, you know, talk about turning a big ship. They just don't even have mobile ready sites.
Right.
Which is a shame. I mean, there's no excuse for that now. I mean, I think it's a great move by Google. Maybe it'll force people's hands to go into responsive design, and we'll pick up some clients.
Excellent.
Most of our clients are ready to go, so which is always the
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, before I open my mouth, is our website responsive?
Yes, of course it is. We use the beautiful HubSpot stuff, which is automatically done that way. So
nice.
You're like, are we ready?
Yeah, no. Well, you get my candid response when I haven't heard of something, so that's probably ideal.
Well, I think this would be interesting to take a look at next week to see how people were affected either positively or negatively, because I think you're going to see, you know, some people whose traffic may have lagged behind suddenly rise in the ranking because one of their competitors was you know, slow on the stick.
Right. I mean, even
this is all brilliant.
Something even funnier. And so, like, you know, everybody wants to be responsive, but do we do responsive or we do adaptive? Like,
everybody wants to be responsive, but they don't want to be responsible. You can quote that. Look at his shirt. You can shirt.
Everyone's responsive, but they want to be responsible. I like that.
Let's get shirts made.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
It's going to be my new email signature.
I'm sorry, we interrupted you, Bart. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I was talking about, you know, we're kind of have that feeling of adaptive being better for e-com sites. than actual responsive. You know, responsive for content is better. We like adaptive for that, and you know, the big buzzword for responsive, but it's not always the best way of doing it. What do you think, Justin?
No, I agree. E-commerce sites would be better adaptive. I mean, it creates a cleaner user interface. It makes it easier to find products and purchase products. It makes sense for e-commerce adaptive.
But it's very specific too, especially if you like own stores, right? You kind of want, especially so say you own boutiques in New York, you know, you want that map to where the boutiques are, right on top, which you don't do that, right? It's, you know, heavy and stuff like that. Using Magento is one of those, you know, things that, you know, it's heavy. But for mobile, we can do some fun stuff with it then.
Yeah.
So,
no, it'll be interesting to see how it affects traffics and products and all that kind of stuff. So
it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting how it affects, you know, can some people win more for now, you know, on mobile? I mean, people shop on mobile like crazy, so.
Yeah.
All right, Johnny boy.
Okay, next. This week, is it this week, Bart? Yeah, it is this week. The Magento Imagine Conference is taking place, and we are conspicuously absent from it.
Yep. This is the first year.
It was usually our big trip out to Vegas, take the team, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, we're kind of, you know, sitting it out this year.
We are. Strangely, or not strangely. Last year I just went, which is I think I have a weird feeling of Magenta Conference lately. It's not I'm not sure how what's happened this year, but I think it's way too corporate. You know, most of the panels were always sponsored, which is weird. It's great to catch up with people in the community, but I think the community versions of Magenta sort of conferences are better than the big one. You know, anything we want to know about what's going on in the industry, like what's going on with Magento or Magento 2, which I know they're pushing like crazy. You can find that out. I mean, there's enough out there to find that out. I think we're, you know, from work perspective, we're just busy. So the only person I would really go is me and probably drag John.
Oh, Bart, be honest. It's just that bail money got too expensive for the entire team.
You guys
We
are
have connections out there. So.
And Vegas, Justin, letting you loose on Vegas is a trip.
Well, don't you think this conference has become more of a, you know, whoever's got the most money to pay for the for the, what do they call it, the platinum level, whatever.
I mean, the tickets got higher and higher every year too. It's at the Win.
Well, not only that, but I'm talking about the
Sponsorship.
Well, not the sponsorship, but like when you go on the show floor, who do you see? You see the same players every year, and they're the ones that are winning the awards. And it's like I hate to use this term, but it becomes kind of a circle jerk.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Yeah. Remember the time?
You're right. And
we went to one of them as a partner, and we're like, "This is terrible. This is just bad." You know?
Well, that's what I was going to say. And let's be honest, it's really gotten down to, it's not like we need the technical guidance provided by sessions at the conference anyway. We would literally be there as a networking event. And at that point, like John pointed out, it's really a circle jerk. You see the same big players year after year, and it's just sort of...
From a booth perspective, like, why do I want to put a booth as a provider or solution provider next to 10 other solution providers that have been around? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and who's there? You know, solution providers. They try to get end users there, but how many do you think we ran into, Bart? What do you think the percentage was? 10%? 20%?
We talked to a lot of people, and it may be 10% from a client perspective. Some of our clients are actually there just for really shits and giggles.
I mean, the only thing I really got out of it was there was a couple sessions, and me being a designer, it's kind of, you know, I get that extra insight, but also on the trade show floor, learning about, and of course it was every kind of extension and every kind of, you know, shipping module and everything. That was a pretty good learning experience, but for what it costs and what you actually get out of it, you know, hey, don't get me wrong, it was a lot of fun, but, you know.
Yeah, and I really don't feel like it makes sense to be a partner at all, like to actually put up a booth as a provider anyway, because there are so many, and like you were pointing out, the end user count is so low at that event The only way I could see even, putting up a booth is if you were a software as a service company, you developed a plugin for it and you were trying to sell that to then providers to use your plugin. That's
people that do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
our joke for, if we did a booth, we put like big margarita machine and said, nope, we're not going to talk about actual things. We're just going to chat about whatever.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
The best booth there.
Awesome.
Have some drinks, talk about whatever you want. Basically,
Best booth there.
New business idea. We should organize after event planning so that we just put out a map of a pub crawl and sit there and fucking distribute it at the event and be like, here, come join us for drinks.
Right. That'd be pretty funny. So the big thing is, so two big things, obviously, Magento conferences. Magento 2, which they're touting to be, it's supposed to be really good. One of the things, I know we're talking about Magento. I don't know how you feel about that, but they're putting a SaaS integration in for front-end development into Magento itself, so we'll process it. I'm not sure I feel great about that, for having Magento actual framework process it instead of being what it should be.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. I mean, it's great that it's there. It depends, though, on how complicated that plugin is and how easily upgradable it is, I feel.
Right.
I'm not opposed to having the framework do the compiling for me. And CSS preprocessors, I'm a big SAS fanboy anyway, so you're asking the wrong person on this. But, I think it's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And the other big thing is PayPal, basically eBay splitting up into multiple groups and stuff like that, which is going to be interesting when they spin out PayPal. And apparently, I think eBay Enterprise, which was GSI Commerce, and that group is going to spin out completely. Which will be interesting.
That will be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see what that does. They probably have more details this week about it, which we'll find out. But I'm not sure what that's going to do anything. Like for us, it doesn't change. We're a consulting company. That's who we are,
Right.
So
it'll be interesting. I mean, Magento 2 is about 3 years too late at this point. So I'm glad they finally got it rolled out. Because
it's more of they finally have a schedule that actually they're keeping too, which is good.
Right. I remember they announced that, like 5 years ago?
Yeah, when they first started.
Yeah.
It was like the second conference we went to. Oh, Magento 2.
And Magento Go has come and gone since then.
Yep, come and gone.
It'll be interesting to see not just the additional features. What I'm going to be interested in is the optimization of Magento. Because as you pointed out earlier, Magento is really, really heavy as it is.
Yep.
So I'm going to be interested to see if Magento 2, if they've taken the direction of adding additional features or if they've mostly optimized what was in-house. I mean, it's great they added SaaS, but I want to see Magento actually optimized and taken down a notch.
I think they are. I think they're optimizing it like in a big world, so which is good. They're supposed to be an enterprise product, so we'll see.
Yeah. And up until this point, scaling Magento was a bit of a nightmare.
Right.
So
still will be for a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the Magento world for now.
Okay, we're going to do something a little different this week. We're going to feature a product of the week. And this one's called meat straws. You don't know what it is? Justin, do you know what a meat straw is? Let's keep it clean.
I can use my imagination, the clean side of it.
The meat straw.
All right, no, go ahead.
I'm having a problem with this. Okay, the meat straw. Your prayers have been answered. Now you can drink through meat. Basically, if you have a nice Bloody Mary, you take this little meat straw, plug that in your drink.
I'm not sure Bloody Mary was the best example of a meat straw application. Now it just got worse. The illusions just got worse.
Bart, are they paleo?
Hold on.
Are they paleo? Are they Whole30?
I don't know. Hold on. Maybe we can. I think I can do a little bit of sharing screen thing, which I have here on my screen. Share screen. Oh, yeah, let's do that. What is this?
Says Bart has started screen sharing. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Got it now.
Whoa.
It's bloody
That's
genius.
not what I wanted.
It's bloody genius, I tell you.
Yeah, there they are.
I'm not sure how revolutionary it is. I mean, it's cool. I'll try it.
Well, we'll get you
audio issues, but here we go.
You get a case of 100 straws for $125 or $6.99 for 5. Not bad.
Okay. A little over $1 a straw. I mean, what is it? Basically like a hollowed out Slim Jim?
Yeah, but the guy, I read something about the guy who invented it made it a little drier because I read the reviews on Amazon. It was like, these things are really dry. Well, he made them purposely dry because if you put a wet piece of meat in your Bloody Mary, that's what she said, you put a wet piece of meat in your Bloody Mary, it'll just be soggy. So he made it dry. So when you suck the juice through your meat straw, the liquid comes through your meat straw into your face hole, and you enjoy, the Bloody Mary.
So you put the meat straw in your Bloody Mary and then in your face hole.
And you suck the juice into your face hole. That's how a meat straw works.
I'm pretty sure mankind has had this idea for like the past 2,000 years.
And then you have a snack off the meat straw. I don't get it. This just went where it should not.
Yeah.
Anyway. I think that ends the show because.
All right, yeah, let's wrap it up. I guess that's it, fellas, and we will pick this up again next week. We'll have a great weekend.
All right.
Peace.
Cool. Peace.
Later, guys.
God. Meat straw.
Meat straw.